Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Tutorials. My name is Santana Perez, and today I will teach you how to do the special effect video from last week. Let's get started. So first off, what we're going to do is open up Premiere Pro. For this special effect, you'll need one footage, or one take, let's say. Basically, the only footage you would need is you having a ball or some object standing on one side of your framing or one side of the end of your frame, as in right here. Throwing the ball or object, make sure to throw it kind of high, like up here towards the sky. Don't try to throw it too low, or it's more work you have to do in the long run. Once you throw the ball, you act as if, like, oh, yay, I froze the ball in place, or act surprised, or do whatever emotion you want to with a ball floating in midair. I decided to be happy about it because I used my watch in order to kind of stop the ball in midair. But now also remember, when you throw the ball, make sure it goes high, and make sure also that it goes off screen. This will later on help us do the effect. Now you walk around said object floating in the sky, and then you react to it being in the sky. I was trying to get it to fall back in my hand, but it didn't really work. And what just happened was it kind of flew, it got shot up in the sky and landed and hit an object far away. And I kind of ran for it. Okay, so we got our clip here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold and throw it into the timeline. So now we have our clip in the timeline. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play it with a little playhead. We're going to go to the point where we want the ball or object to stay in the air. So I'm going to choose about right there. Choose about right, let's say right there. Right there. Right there. I feel comfortable with it right there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to press C on the keyboard, which is a cut or a razor tool. And we're going to use that to cut up the video on the timeline. And then we're going to go back to the cursor with V. We're going to select the image that we just cut, like on the right of it, and we're going to push it out of the way for right now, just to see what we have right here. And perfect, that's what we have. We have the ball frozen in place. But now we need that ball. We need to do a few things here. First thing we need to do is make that ball stay in place while also having me move around in this space. So to achieve this, what we're going to do is we're going to go right here, go to this little icon, little camera icon right here, which is called export frame. What we're doing, we're going to export a still, or practically take a screenshot or a photo of this image right here, of this one frame. So we're going to click it, export, let's say floating ball, and also click to import into project so it shows up on your left little box right here. For you or for anyone else, it could be somewhere else on your Premiere interface, but for me, it's on my left. So we're gonna click that. And now it shows right here, floating ball. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this and we're gonna drag it right into our timeline. So now we have this still. Yay, we got a still. Woo. Okay, so now what we're gonna do in order to have the ball stay there and not smooth, we're gonna have to mask the ball. So let's go over to our effect control panel right here. We're gonna click on the still that we just put on the timeline. We're gonna go right here to opacity. As under opacity, you see three different icons right here. This is what we can use in order to mask our object. Since we have a circular object, I'm gonna go right here to the eclipse tool and click that. And then you'll see your screen go black except for anything inside that eclipse mask. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that over the ball that's on top. So just kind of fidget it a little bit, move points in, just get it kind of close. Try to get this as close as possible. And there. So now we have the eclipse masking tool over the ball in midair. All right. In order to see exactly, we can see how much space we left right here and right here, which is completely fine. You could actually go right here back to opacity, go to mask feather, and we're going to feather it about 25%. And what that does, it kind of smooths out the mask, so it makes it look a little bit smoother. So now we have the ball floating there, but we have nothing else. We have blank. So what we're gonna have to do is that cut image that we had earlier, we're gonna drag it back underneath this still. So now you should have this. The ball staying in place. And I look at it, and the feathering is a little bit too much. So I'll click on the still and put the feathering to about 15%. And I like that a little bit better. So I'll keep it. So right now we have the ball floating. So that is one half of the thing. So what we're gonna do also, we should make that last the whole entire video. Got the ball floating, which is great, which is good. And I'm walking around the ball and doing my action. Now, before we continue with moving the ball, we have to get rid of this other ball that shows up. That ball, we gotta get rid of that. So how are we gonna do that? So you may ask. We're gonna do it the exact same way that we did the ball floating. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this still, right? We're gonna put it onto the timeline. Let's put it right there. But we need to place it in the right spot so it gets rid of this ball and makes it kind of transparent so we don't see it at all. So what we're gonna do for that is we're gonna have to move both this still that we just created and this footage. We're gonna move it up one. Then we're gonna put this layer right there. So now we kind of have the still that we created first, the video file, and the secondary still that we're gonna use in order to get rid of the moving ball. I know it's a lot of moving parts, but bear with me, it'll work out great. So now we go to this. So what we need to do, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get rid of this ball. So what I'm gonna do here, I want this ball to go. We don't want it anymore. So we're gonna go to there, let's say. We're gonna click the video. We're gonna do opacity, do eclipse. We're gonna find the ball and we're gonna put a eclipse mask over it, like we did before for the ball that's floating. There's the eclipse mask. Make sure this one is as tight as possible, or close as possible. And then you're gonna also do a feather of it again. So let's say 15. So after you make the mask, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go here and click this invert button. Now the ball is gone, but we're not done. If we, for example, if we were to move a few frames, you would see the ball again. So how do you fix that? What you have to do is you got to move the mask with the ball. So you go over here under mask, you see mask path. You're gonna click this little toggle animation button. Looks like a little like a stopwatch. We're gonna click that. We're gonna go back and click mask. So now we're gonna go forward about, let's say, 3 frames. And you can do this by clicking your arrow key on your keypad. So go forward 3 frames. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the mask and move it down to cover the ball. And we're gonna keep on doing this until the ball is completely covered through the duration that the ball shows up. Okay, so now let's see what that just did. So as we see, the ball is completely gone. Of course, you can see a little bit of it. You can still see like some remnants of the ball a little bit, and we can fix that just by feathering it, which is right here. Okay, so by feathering it a little bit more, a little bit less, and we could change the mask expansion. This is gonna make the mask a little bit bigger, and also when we feather it, it's gonna look a little bit smoother. So these two things will help you fix your mask and hide your object a little bit more. So now it looks pretty much gone. Okay, so now we got 2 things done. We got the ball gone, and we got the ball floating in place. Now, what we're gonna work on next is moving this ball. So now we're gonna find the point in the video where I'm trying to get the ball, get the ball down or move the ball, and I'll get right to the point where it flies away. Okay, now in order to move the ball, we're gonna have to click the still image of the ball that we made earlier with the mask. We're gonna go to position, click the little stopwatch animation symbol, and then move it with the the Y axis right here. First, you got to make a keyframe to where it is initially. So that's the initial point that the ball is. And then we got to go forward a few frames in time and move the ball to where we want it to go. We want it to go out of the frame. So let's see how that looks. As you see, that was a little bit slow. So what we're going to do to solve that is we are going to make the keyframes a little bit closer. The closer these little keyframes are, the faster the object will move or change. And the farther away they are, the slower they'll change, depending on how much you change these two aspects right here. Now, as you see here, my ball kind of moved before I started reacting. In order to fix this, what we can do is we can select both of these little keyframes that we made and just move them a little bit to the right. Now, but I want that to move more, so I'll go to my last keyframe and move it some more. I mean that. Okay. So now that we got the ball to move up, now let's move it back down somewhere out in the distance. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to find where the ball is. So let's say, where are you, ball? There you are. Hi, ball. Now we're going to move you over here. Move you over just a little bit. We're going to change your scale. So we're going to click this toggle animation button. Click that. Leave that at 100. And then let's say we want you to be about 15 size. Pretty small. And then we want it to land about somewhere over here, right? Let's start it up, right there. Go forward a few frames. Going forward 6 frames. Drop it down. Now you want your ball to kind of fade away in the background. So what we'll do is once it hits that, we will change the opacity of it. Click the toggle keyframe again. We're going to move this keyframe a little bit back. And then right here, we're going to change it to, let's say, 40%. And then go forward 1 frame, put it to 0%. Let's see what we got so far. The ball flew away. The ball falling down. But as you see in the background, it's kind of hard to see our ball, right? And that's because when we made these 2 keyframes, we made one keyframe for 100 and the next one for 40. So in between those keyframes, the percentage of the opacity is moving from 100 to 40. But we want it to stay 100 till it gets to 40, or it gets to around here, and then it can go to 40 and then 0. So in order to do that, we can actually change how we want these keyframes to act. So I'm going to go to the first keyframe right here. I'm going to right click, go to hold, and there we go. And what that does, it will hold the opacity of 100 on the ball until it hits the next keyframe, which is 40%, which can be which is like used a lot with editing. And the ball falls. And that is the effect so far. Now you can go a little bit, you can add some extra things to it, like I did in my special effect video, and I will show you exactly that right now. So what I did to the ball is I clicked the top clip, which is our still. All right. Now I'm going to show you the other stuff to the ball, which made it all look wavy and stuff like that. So I will go click the top clip of our timeline, which is our still. I will go to the effect panel, which is right here, and I will look up warp, wave warp. I'm going to copy this effect and paste it right there. And then again, you do create a mask path, you move it to exactly where you want it to be. And once it's sized to your ball, basically what wave warp does, and it makes it look wavy. You'll change the aspects of it. So you can go down here and change every aspect of this effect. So if I want it to be like a little wavy here and there, I can just, let's say, wave type. I want to do that. Wave height. I want it to be 10, 18. Direction, wave width, speed, pinning, phase. You can just change all that stuff. You can even change it per frame. So say you have that on your first keyframe, then you can go up 6 frames and then change them all over again. And this in turn will make the aspect or make the effect do different things. Make that singular wave warp effect do different things to your ball. And of course, you can fix that any which way you want. The choice is yours. But anyway, that is how I did the special effect video from last week. I also added different sound effects to make it sound a little more realistic. But I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. Bye, guys.